and welcome to the Sacred Man Experience podcast. I am Imran Muhammad. Here we speak about the journey of manhood through the lens of faith, how to be strong, but also soft, how to lead, but also to listen. Today's podcast is titled The Golden Gilded Cage. When success doesn't feel like success. Take a breath with me, just for a second. If you're driving, feel the steering wheel. If you're at home, feel the chair or the sofa that you're sitting on. I want to talk to the man who has it all. You spent the last 10, 15, maybe 20 years climbing this economical, financial ladder. You follow the blueprint that was given to you. You got the degree, you built the business, you secured the property, you got the marriage that looks beautiful on a created Instagram feed. You are what the world calls a high flyer. But there is a silence that hits you at 3 a.m. in the morning. Or maybe it hits you in the middle of a board meeting. It's a hollow, echoing feeling in the chest. It's the realization that you have built a palace, but you've become a prisoner inside it. This is the golden gilded cage. You have the luxury, but you lack the lather, the sweetness of being. Why is it that the more you accumulate wealth, the less you seem to feel? Today, we are going to pierce that armor, inshallah. We're going to look at why your success feels like a burden and how to transform your higher performance into sacred presence. Let's look at this through the lens of our behavior psychology. Why are you unhappy? It's because your internal map does not match your external territory. Many of you living in what we call a dopamine loop. You've conditioned your nervous system to only feel alive when you are closing a deal or hitting a target. But dopamine is the hormone of pursuit, not fulfillment. You are addicted to the chase, but you have no capacity for the landing. We call this, or we talk about this in the sense of logical levels. Most high earners function only at the levels of environment, what I own, and our behavior, what I do. You are missing the higher levels, which are what? Beliefs, identity, and mission. If your identity is, I'm a producer, then the moment you stop producing, you feel worthless. You've anchored your self-worth to a fluctuating market. That is a psychological trap. You are using a scarcity filter. Even when you have millions, your brain is scanning for what is missing. We need to re-anchor your state. We need to move from outcome-based happiness to state-based excellence. The alchemy of the soul. Now, let us walk into the garden of the heart. We look at the wisdom of the likes of Imam al-Ghazali. Al-Ghazali, in his Alchemy of Happiness, makes a profound distinction. He says the soul is a king and the body is its kingdom. The problem with the man in the golden cage is that he has allowed the servants, which are his desires, his business, his ego, to imprison the king, which is his soul. You are suffering from ghafla, which is heedlessness. You are so busy managing the dunya, the external world, that you have forgotten the ma'rifah, which is knowledge of the self and the divine. Imam Ibn al-Qayyim speaks of the heart's poverty. He says there is a void to the human heart that nothing can fill except the company of none other than Allah Himself. You can pour gold into that void. You can pour status, position into it. You can pour the love of women and the praise of men into it. It will remain always empty. You are trying to solve a spiritual problem with a material solution. That is like trying to quench your thirst by eating salt. The sacred man understands that his business is not his life. His business is sajda, prostration, in motion. When your work becomes an act of worship, the cage doors swing open. The gold remains, but the cage disappears. You become a steward, not an owner. Let's look at something which is really powerful. I'm going to give you a practical protocol, sense of implementation. I don't want you just to listen. I want you to do, implement. Here is your sacred man protocol for this podcast today, inshallah. Step 1, the state break. 3 times a day, stop whatever you are doing. Set a timer for only 60 seconds. Do nothing. Do not check your phone. Just breathe and ask, who is the one breathing? Who is it? This breaks the doing loop and brings you back to being. Based on some of the works of Imam al-Balkhi, Sustenance of the Soul, he's created something really powerful. I want you to write this down. Your mental diet. Are you consuming more stress than you are consuming silence? Balance your external gains, which are significant, with internal gazing. How is it really impacting me? For every hour of business, give it 5 minutes. That's it. Of contemplation, of self-reflection, remembrance, zikr. Number 2, you have to shift your language. Language shift. Stop saying, I have to go to this meeting. Start saying, I am called to serve in this meeting, creating a sense of real meaning behind what this meeting is about. Shift the language. Words impact us. Words have true profound impact upon our psyche and our internal ongoings. Shift your language from obligation to contribution. This changes the neurochemistry of your day. The golden cage only has a lock on the inside. Let me share this with you, my brothers. You have the key. You've always had it. It's in the realization that you are not what you earn. You are not the pursuit. No. You are how, let's get this straight, you serve. Is what you do with that, which is important. I want you to join me in the next episode, inshallah, where we will go even more deeper into the silent epidemic and talk about the trials we face when the world expects us to be pillars of stone while our hearts are breaking. Until then, I want you to live with strength, lead with mercy, and remember, you are a sacred man on a sacred journey. Till next time, you have been listening to Imran Muhammad, and this has been the Sacred Man Experience podcast. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.